Thank you for joining me for this Yoga for Health video. Take a moment and find yourself in a comfortable seat. So that can be in a chair, on a bolster, a block, or sitting on the mat. Take a moment to align yourself. So maybe bring your hands to your hips and just sensing your sits bones anchoring down, inhaling as you might imagine the ribs lifting, the side ribs lengthening, the front ribs drawing back, and the shoulders are going to rest right above your hips, ears above shoulders. You can close down your eyes. Start to take a few deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the nose or the mouth. As you inhale, invite a sense of lengthening space between each of the vertebrae. And as you exhale, grounding down into the sits bones or towards the feet. We'll begin a 3-part pranayama or Durga breath. And if it is easier to sense this breath using your hands, place one hand at your belly and one hand on your heart. As you inhale, let breath fill the lower abdomen. Continue to draw breath in as it floats up into the ribs and then all the way into the heart, the clavicles. Notice as you do this, the belly draws in. And as you exhale, exhale from the chest, the ribs, and belly, keeping the spine open and tall. Take this a few more rounds on your own, inhaling deeply into that 3-part breath. Filling the lowest chamber of your lungs first. Letting all the breath fill the whole lungs up into the heart. And exhaling, softening any tension in the neck and shoulders. Grounding through the hips. Invite breath to become deeper with each passing inhale and each passing exhale. Inviting the mind to just settle in on watching the breath as you do your best to breathe deeply in this way. If you're finding this difficult, just keep in mind this is a gradual practice. It's a skill you can develop over time. So just be patient and kind with yourself. Maybe just take one more deep breath. Maybe open up the mouth, and as you exhale, just let out that breath. I'm going to take a moment. So come to, if you're in a chair, you can do this in a chair. It might just look a little different. But in a mat, just bring your hands behind you. You want to try to avoid collapsing in your lumbar spine. So using your hands, maybe the finger pads are down, opening your feet as wide as you can. And you're just letting the knees windshield wiper side to side. Essentially, if you're sitting in a chair, you can do this at the edge of your chair. And imagine that you're just allowing the hips to open here. You're letting your body twist to one direction, pass through center, and then letting your body twist the opposite. If you're doing this on a mat or even in a chair, you can add the arm swinging with the twist, moving the arm. Move in the direction of the momentum, the direction the knees are falling. Eyes can be closed, the twist can continue through the neck if you're ready for that. You can make that reach as big and as long as you like. Take your time, making sure not to over twist, just using your own abdominal strength to twist your spine, to open your hips. You can take this as quickly or slowly as you like. And then from here, we're gonna just come back through center. Again, make yourself comfortable in a seated position. Bring your arms up in line with your shoulders, hug them in, and start to make some small circles in one direction. Think about drawing your navel center in toward your spine, energy is moving up towards the crown. Maybe the circles become a little larger, and then you reverse the direction. Continue to think about drawing that top of the arm bone into its socket. Energy through the fingertips. And you're breathing. Most important rules in yoga is make sure you can breathe in whatever you're doing, and if you can't breathe, ease out of it. Maybe reverse the direction again. Make sure you can also smile if you like. So not to take ourselves too seriously. To find joy in movement and breath. Good. Maybe just stretch the arms up and then letting them come down by your side. So for this next one, we're going to come into a plank, and we're going to do our best to hold plank for 30 seconds. So palms underneath shoulders. You can do this by just kind of walking your knees back, letting the hips come forward, drawing the front of the pelvic bowl in. Or you can tuck the toes, lift the knees off the ground. If ever you start to sense like a slumping in the low back, making sure you lower your knees. It's better to do it with full integrity here. But when you're ready, making sure you lift yourself up. We're going to hold for 30 seconds. Do your best not to lock in your elbows. Spread the palms wide or come onto your forearms. Think about the scapula hugging into the spine, the shoulders pressing away from the ears. Making sure the head is lifted, belly button's drawing in. Good. A few more deep breaths. Again, make sure you're breathing as you do this. And again, feel free to lower those knees. Let this practice be gradual. Take another breath here. Inhale. And as we exhale, lower the knees if they're not already lowered. And then take a moment. You can just walk your hands forward, stretching your hips back, reaching the heart down towards the mat and the forehead. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale through the mouth. And then from here, we're going to make our way onto our backs. And if you have a block handy, that's good. You can use the block to make this restorative, or use it to place between your knees. So you want to sense your ankles right underneath your knees, the back of your skull resting. You can bring your palms up alongside your ribs, press the elbows down, hug the shoulders in. You might keep your hands down by your hips or have the palms facing inward, the arms hugging the ribs. We're going to press into the feet and inhale, lift your hips. Make sure not to look side to side with your head. Should be able to do a slight little nod yes to make sure there's space in your cervical curve. We're just going to breathe here. Nice long deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Grounding through all sides of your feet. Maybe the pelvis lifts a little higher, or maybe you're taking a block and letting it support underneath your sacrum and taking it more restorative today. Allowing this slight back bend to support your spine, to open your heart. Take another breath wherever you are. And then as we exhale, we're going to slowly lower down. And just to counter stretch that, you can just take your right knee and hug it in toward your chest, pressing down equally into your pelvis and to the sacrum area. If it feels comfortable, you can extend your left leg long. Take another deep breath here. And as we exhale, we'll ground that right foot, hug the left knee in. Again, just take a couple breaths. You want to make sure you have space under the lumbar curve, that you're not rounding that curve or collapsing it into the mat. So press equally into those hips. Take another breath here. Maybe flexing through that right foot if the leg's extended, and exhale. Then we're rounding both feet. And then from here, we're gonna just make our way into Shavasana. So You can stay on your back and then just continue to extend your legs and rest your body down, or you can walk your feet as wide as the edge of your mat. Let your knees fall in toward each other. Wherever you are, invite in a sense of ease and contentment. You're exactly where you need to be. Invite in a deep breath. Inhale into the whole self, and exhale. Just surrender, relinquish any control. Give yourself permission to just simply rest, to be just as you are. To invite the breath in and out as it naturally will. To invite all the muscles and tendons to gently melt away from the bones. To sense the body held by the earth. To sense the earth holding the body. You can stay here for as long as you have time. Or if you like, slowly start to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Take time to bring yourself out of the relaxation. To bring yourself back upright. Alert. And before you finish your practice, take a moment to thank yourself, to honor yourself for this gift, this time that you set aside for yourself. I'm thankful that you are joining me as well, and namaste.